го потпиша својот 6-годишен договор за 26 милиони долари со екипата на Шарлот. Ова што сега го гледате, тоа е екипата на Нью Йорк Никси, кои се под водство на Пат Рајли. Тимот е инаку зајакнат со тројца нови играчи од екипата на Клиперси, Смит, Док Риверс и Кимбл. Тука се Јуинг, Старкс, Оукли од старата гарда. Овие сите информации ги кажуваме за да може колку толку да помогнеме на гледачите при прогнозирањето на овие резултати. Инаку Нью Йорк после 4 кола има 2 победи. Од последното коло резултатот се уште го немаме, така да најверојатно Нью Йорк дека се наоѓа на првото место. Инаку тие, како што кажав предходно, во нашата неделна прогноза се среќаваат со екипата на Лос Анџелес Клиперс. Овие што сега ги гледате, тоа се екипата на Бостон Селтик, кој ги води Крис Форд. Тие во нашата прогноза играат со Јута, а нив ги води тренерот Крис Форд. Ќе видиме дали ќе успеат без Лари Бирд оваа година. Еве го Роберт Париш, кој минатата сезона имаше процент на погодоци 14,1, со неговиот другар Мекел, дали ќе успеат да извојуваат победа, останува да прогнозираат нашите гледачи. Инаку ова екипа е уште зајакната со Мек Даниел.
I think he's another experienced player, a guy who can put the ball in the basket. He brings an aggressive style to the game, and he is a guy who has been out there night in, night out throughout the NBA wars.
Another team to be reckoned with are the new look
Филаделфија со тренерот Даг Мое, кој е всушност и првиот човек во тимот, оваа година се без минатогодишната звезда Чарлс Баркли. Зајакнати се разбира и тие, тука е Хорнасек, но Баркли е секако, ќе се сложите со мене, голема загуба за Филаделфија. Уште еднаш подсетувам, Филаделфија играат со Орландо, а Орландо, подоцна малце ќе збориме за Орландо. Пред Орландо следуваат Вашингтон Булиц. Тимот нема некои екстра звезди, се движи некаде во средината на квалитетот на НБА лигата. Тука најдобар минатата сезона беше Елисон со процент на погодоци 20,0, што е најголем процент во тимот, но не е некој голем процент во НБА лигата.
Now they add rookies Tom Gugliotta and Don McLean to help beef up the inside game. However, the key newcomer may be shooting guard Rex Chapman, from whom the Bullets are expecting big things. In Orlando,
еве ги Орландо, за кој реков дека подоцна ќе збориме. Орландо се среќаваат значи со Филаделфија, треба да го прогнозирате резултатот. А интересно за Орландо дека овој тим се прероди со купувањето на Шејкил Онил. По 4 кола во Атлантската дивизија со 3 победи и 1 пораз, Орландо се наоѓа на второ место во оваа дивизија. Во последниот надпревар го победија Вашингтон со 127-100. Шејкил Онил постигна 31 кош, имаше 21 офанзивен скок. Ова се Феникс. Пол Вествал, тренерот на тимот, во кој сега игра и Чарлс Баркли, еве го, Чарлс Баркли, звездата што си отиде од Филаделфија. Во нашата неделна прогноза, дали ќе успеат да ги победат Сакраменто во среда, ќе прогнозирате исто така вие. Ова е тренерот на Орландо.
Phoenix also imported free agent Danny Ainge during the off-season for his outside shooting and drafted Oliver Miller, who should provide size and scoring punch in the Suns' front court.
На Феникс. Кевин Джонсон исто еден добар играч од кој Феникс очекува многу. И на крајот за вас ги ставивме Клиперси, ќе се сретнат со Нью Йорк во четврток. Боб Хил ги изгуби своите 3 најдобри играчи, Смит, Док Риверс и Кимбл. Останува Марк Джексон и другарите да се погрижат за еден добар пласман во НБА лигата. А ние ќе се видиме наредната недела со вашите прогнози. Довидување.
може да личности за
Хилонил. Интересен извадок од NBA Action, кој го позајмивме од Screen Sport. Прво ќе видите неколку интересни моменти. Тоа што го видов претходно беше Тарканијани, тренерот на Сан Антонио. И сега овие многу убави, прекрасни, јас би рекол, акции на Хјустон Рокетс. Ова што следи сега, тоа е најинтересните моменти во минатата недела во последните секунди.
Grant with 2 seconds left in the quarter. Mark Jackson, knowing that, puts it in at the buzzer. You talk about heads-up basketball. We prepared a few sights and sounds for you, fresh from acting class. Alton Lister.
Ова буквално би се превело поглед и звук. Исто така се ова во минатата недела најинтересните моменти од НБА. Ова сега што следи, тоа е, гледате и сами, најдобрата блокада, најинтересната блокада. Што беше, тоа беше прво Шејкил Онил, играчот мега звездата, јас како што ја најавив на Орландо, и ова е најинтересното промашување. И тоа се случува во НБА. Сега, како вообичаено, следи каунтдаун, или што би се рекло одбројување. 10 најдобри акции според колегите од Screen Sport минатата недела. Ова е една интересна блокада, многу убава.
At number 8, Tim Hardaway has his radar on, and his target is the Cavs.
Како осмо, интересен кош на Тим Хардвеј.
Out west, Sir Charles is looking to prove that he's the best on the block.
Број 7, видите, блок. Ово може би требаше претходно да биде како најдобар блок, не го ставеме тука. 6, познат, Майкл Џордан во својот стил. Ребаунд или скок во случајов офанзивен. Се ќе видите Крис Малин во стилот на Майкл Џордан. Ова е Ентони Пилер. И сега следи една интересна тројка во последните секунди од мечот. И за крајот е оставено најдоброто. Овој пат повторно за Майкл Џордан. Само погледнете колку убав кош. Ги повлекува играчите од десна страна, влегува со десна рака, за сето тоа на крај да заврши со лева рака. Прекрасна лажга, што би се рекло. Тоа е својствено, впрочем, и на Майкл Џордан. И на крајот, за гледачите на Неделно Попладне, останува да го проследат овој интересен спот на MC Hammer со уште поинтересни кошеви од минатата недела. Пријатно!
Yo, sound the bell. School is in. Showtime! I love this game. Yo! 3 seconds.
I love this game.
It is Drexler and Kersey. We are la la la. DC. I love this game.
Welcome to NBA action. Hey, what are you all pumped up for? Could it be this?
Taken by Bolt.
You'll see it all as we got all the moves covered. So watch out, because we're coming at ya.
What time is it? Ken's got it right up into the eye. Whose game is it? It's Michael Jordan's game. The mailman delivers. Less than a second. There's Donovan. Three-pointer. Yes! Oh, my. Oh, did you see that? Yes! Yes! Oh! How high can you get up?
We begin with this week's action read and the league's hottest team, the Western Conference champion Portland Trail Blazers, who've jumped out to the league's best record at 7-0. Many expected the Blazers to be tested by Pat Riley's Knicks, but his troops were outmanned and outrun.
Porter, Kelly, breakaway. Knicks do not get back on defense.
Against the much-improved Kings, sixth man Cliff Robinson led 7 Trailblazers in double figures. Portland headed back to the Coliseum for a showdown with the struggling Detroit Pistons, and Rod Strickland delivered the Blazers' first triple-double of the year.
Strickland, they score! 200 wins for head coach Rick Allen.
After losing their first 2 games, Hakeem Olajuwon and the Rockets have won 5 straight. The Dream had 34 points and 7 blocks against the Kings. Then continued his torrid pace against the Cavs.
Go ahead and put it up. You haven't done anything wrong yet. Go ahead, just shoot.
On Saturday, the Dream squared off against the Admiral, and Houston firmly established its position as the hottest team in the Midwest, and perhaps beyond.
Well, maybe the Rockets are America's team. They're undefeated on U.S. soil so far this season.
But this wasn't the only meeting between bruising big men this week.
Yeah, he's looking forward to it, and I'm looking forward to it with him. He's going against probably one of the best big guys that ever played this game, and like they say, let's rumble.
In Shaquille O'Neal's first visit to the Big Apple, Shaq showed he can hang with the best. And even though Orlando lost the game, this year's rookie phenom continues to impress.
I think he's a very good player. He's strong. He works hard. Take my hat off to him. He's going to be a great player.
But Shaquille O'Neal isn't the only up-and-coming super center in the East. Alonzo Mourning is making up for the time he lost during training camp, and his teammates were glad to have him aboard as they defeated the Mavs. On Friday, the rookie posted a career-high 34 points in an overtime victory over the Warriors.
So, big play right here. It's Mourning. Out rebounding Owen. Well, there's the ball game in a nutshell.
And in Miami, Del Curry welcomed the newest Hornet into the Hive.
Curry to win game number 2. The Hornets about to win their 3rd straight.
Also sporting a 3-game win streak are Mike Dunleavy's surprising Bucks, who clamped down on defense.
And Ellis rejected by Lohan.
Then push the ball right down your throat with talented open court players like Blue Edwards. After disposing of Denver, the Bucks rode Alvin Robertson's statistical way past the Hawks.
Alvin Robertson, he threatened a quadruple double.
And then pressured the Pacers into 24 turnovers.
Off it goes to Lohan. He jams it home. Off Alvin steal.
The last of our surprise teams in the East, the Washington Bullets, have won 3 straight despite injuries to several key players. Against the Celts, Harvey Grant tied his career record with 34 points.
Harvey Grant.
Grant teamed with rookie forward Tom Gugliotta to beat the T-Wolves. Then, in a night to remember, Gugliotta single-handedly cooled off the red-hot Jazz.
Gugliotta. Oh, my. 39 points for Gooch. He's on fire tonight.
Despite losing to Washington, we find out in this week's news, notes, and quotes that it was a banner week for the Utah Jazz as Karl Malone reached a major milestone against the Indiana Pacers.
This is the 15,000th point for Karl Malone.
He became just the 61st player ever to reach 15,000. Then he and the Jazz reached yet another plateau.
For the first time in Utah Jazz history, they have won a game in the Boston Garden.
The frustrated Celtics are off to their slowest start since the 78-79 season, also known as the Before Bird era.
It's really frustrating because right now it seems like everything is so magnified and everything right now is such a struggle.
To compound matters, reserve forward Ed Pinckney will miss up to 2 months after arthroscopic knee surgery. Charlotte will be without the services of starting forward Johnny Newman for 5 to 6 weeks after fracturing his left hand. Kevin Johnson is back in action for Phoenix after missing the Suns' first 6 games with a groin injury. To make room for KJ, Phoenix waived 12-year veteran forward Kurt Rambis. Seattle legend Jack Sikma received a special honor as the Supersonics paid tribute to one of the franchise's greatest all-time players. Sikma had his number retired, joining an elite group with Lenny Wilkens and downtown Freddie Brown. Coming up next on NBA action, Denver's Dikembe Mutombo is on a mission, and the rest of the league better take notice.
Get the idea.
And we'll count them down as we check out the week's wildest plays in our courtside countdown.
Monster slam. Drexler.
This week, Denver's Golden Nugget is holding court.
If you really want to play, you need to really work hard. I don't be intimidated by nobody. I will dominate at some point. Dominate.
Swatted away.
Dominate.
Mutombo, tough move.
You get the idea.
The rest of the NBA has also gotten the idea. In his second season, Mutombo has created a flurry of change as he's begun to lead the Nuggets down the long road to respectability. The 4th pick of last year's draft, he's now looked upon as the cornerstone of his rebuilding franchise.
For our situation, we wanted to rebuild our basketball team, and we felt that we needed to start from the floor, and there's no better way to start than with a 7-2 center. So he was the best player for us.
8 in the shot clock, licked, he missed it. Mutombo backs up and slams.
Rick Fox rejected by Mutombo.
Known as an intimidating defender, Mutombo quickly let opponents know that he would have to be reckoned with at both ends of the court. Mutombo, he's got some talent.
I've been more impressed with his offensive skills and his defensive skills at this point. And basically what I'm saying, I think he's an excellent defensive player, but he has not learned to fully maximize his presence of that 7-2 frame.
When he finally does tap his awesome potential, the NBA better watch out, because even the game's elite big men strike no fear in Mutombo.
If I know I'm going against Akeem and Patrick and Dave Robinson, all of those guys, they're going against me too. So they got to check me too, so I don't be intimidated by nobody. I get ready every night when I go to the floor.
Mutombo against Elijah. That's a battle for the next decade.
The one thing that I liked about him is that I loved his work ethics, and that, you know, he has a big heart, his desire, desire to win and desire to try to be the best. But I told him when I come out there, I'm going to try to go out and try to do my best to kick his butt. And he's going to be trying to do the same.
Mutombo has served notice to Ewing and the rest of the league that he plans to make Denver a tough team to play for years to come.
We have basically built this team around Dikembe, and we plan on him being our center and being our all-star center for the next 10 or 12 years. And so, he's as important as anybody that's played for this franchise in a long, long time.
Less than a decade ago, legend Dan Issel was manning the middle for the Denver Nuggets. Earlier in his career, he was one of the ABA's marquee players as he soared to prominence with the Kentucky Colonels and the Denver Nuggets. In 1976, the ABA was absorbed by the NBA, and Issel only got better.
Dan, just a very unusual player at center, being so short, but a tremendous shooter, good fakes, and he could put the points on the board.
Dan Issel was a 6-time All-Star who amassed over 27,000 career points. He played with an intensity that enabled him to take on the game's most imposing big men.
I kind of enjoyed being the smallest starting center in the NBA because I could use that to my advantage because I could shoot from the outside and I could draw some of the opposing centers away. If I could get them to come out to the free throw line and guard me, then I was pretty much in command.
Now Issel is once again the man in charge in Denver, as the first-year coach hopes to instill some of his competitive fire in the young Nuggets.
Get on the floor. We'll win this game.
Although Issel was a sharp-shooting big man, he does not have the highest field goal percentage among centers. Can you name the pivot man, past or present, with the highest career shooting mark? The answer when we return, right here on NBA Action.
Stay tuned for Pro Kick at 9.
We go slam dunking with the NBA as the Spurs battle with the Trailblazers. Wednesday night at 9 on Screen Sport.
Anyone can make even the most difficult things look easy, because anyone can use Microsoft software.
NBA Action. Now the answer to our trivia question. The player with the highest field goal percentage among centers is Artis Gilmore. During his 12-year career, Gilmore shot close to 60% from the field, which is the highest mark not only for centers, but also of anybody who's ever played the game. This next set of sharpshooters don't miss their mark much either. Michael Jordan had another one of those nights, scorching the Lakers from every angle. Jordan put on a spectacular array of moves on his way to the 23rd 50-plus game of his career.
That's 19 points for him, heading to 50.
Hey, did he know something? Michael would end the night with a mere 54 points.
What a shot. What a shot.
Even Dominique Wilkins had to be impressed with that. But he wanted to get into the highlight film, too. Meek slam dunk and glided past the Celtics for 41 points, and also showed some outside touch.
Another three for Dominique Wilkins in second of the quarter. Over to Dominique Wilkins. 41 for Dominique Wilkins.
Chris Mullin is on fire. Oh, yeah? How hot was he? Well, against Charlotte, Mullin shot from everywhere, and it seemed everything was dropping for him. He finished with 46 points, only one shy of his career high.
Three-pointer. How did Mullin drill that one? And Mullin delivers the goods. What a night.
Why the frown, Charles? You also got into the 40 and over club this week. Against the Clippers, Sir Charles was a rebounding machine as well, grabbing 17 boards, 8 of them on the offensive end. He did it all, including a couple of three-pointers.
44 points for Barkley.
Charles Barkley's former team, the 76ers, took part in this week's marquee matchup against the Miami Heat. Philly was still looking for their first home win, while Miami hoped to heat it up on the road. But the 76ers would be the first out of the block.
Greg gets the break going. 3-on-2. The lead for Hornacek. The dish. Slam dunk. Picture perfect fast break.
Miami would counter as they showcased their own version of a running game.
Miami on the move. Heat trying to get a fast break going. Sixers back defensively. Wrights the pull-up long jumper.
That's all he needs. He is shooting the lights out.
Philadelphia kept a frantic pace going into the second half as they threatened to run away with the game. But the hot shooting of Glenn Rice kept the Heat in striking range until rookie Harold Miner went on a tear that gave Miami the lead.
16 points for Harold Miner, including 14 here in the fourth quarter. Wow.
But behind Jeff Hornacek, the resilient 76ers just wouldn't quit as Philadelphia fought their way back into the game.
Sixers looking for the lead. Hornacek got it.
Hornacek's dramatic shot lifted his team and pushed the game into overtime. But in the extra period, Glenn Rice was waiting with his gun still blazing.
Glenn Rice flashing to the ball. Got free, got away from Chef Hornacek.
But Hornacek would have time to answer.
Sixers have to hurry. Three-point shot, and they are still alive.
The game would rage on into a second overtime as Rice would shoot his way to a season-high 35 points. But help was on the way as Andrew Lang's 20 rebounds and 18 points would send the game into a third overtime where an unlikely hero would emerge.
Shot clock's at 10. Tim Perry going to work. Tim Perry is fresh.
In the final seconds, the Heat had a chance to tie the game. And though Rice missed this crucial free throw, the game was still up for grabs.
John Sally. Glenn Rice to win. Nope.
Tired yet? Well, don't go to sleep on us now, because in this week's edition of Encore, we look at the week's wildest, starting with Michael Jordan stealing a win from the T-Wolves.
Inside. Oh, goodness. I didn't even think you saw the basket. Oh, got another one. Look out! Look out!
But Michael's sailing wasn't quite as smooth in L.A.
Drops it out of bounds. That's the biggest ovation of the night because he made a mistake.
Want to see some players get it right? Well, lend an ear to Billy Owens conducting class in Charlotte. How about Horace Grant putting some hurt on Luke Longley?
Oh, inside. Horace for the slam.
And how could we forget about Larry Johnson?
Taken by Bulls up
Huh? In L.A., a Forum fan hit a big shot of his own to the tune of $17,000.
Ed Laird, congratulations. He could shoot it like that again for 20 years and not make it.
The Forum had a lot of big shots this week. Just ask the Bulls' Scottie Pippen.
Jordan for two. No good. Rebound is off. Lakers didn't get it. They throw it up and in. There's 2/10 of a second left.
I don't believe it.
I don't believe it either.
Oh, and what about Mark Price, who hit just before halftime in Dallas?
Here's Price. 4-3. Mark Price knocks down the three at the buzzer.
Oh, then watch as he finds the mark again at the end of three.
Here's Price in a hurry. From behind, from just in front of mid-court. Mark Price off the glass. He'll take the three.
Hey, you know, that looked easy. Almost as easy as the Hawks' John Koncak, who gets a little help on this jumper, but says he called it all the way. Yeah, sure he did. Hey, how about the fashion statement of the week? Courtesy of Mike Dunleavy.
Come on, somebody point it out to the guy.
Now, we've given you a face full of Shaquille before, but never quite like this. And finally, we've got Booster, who is back with a bang in Houston.
Now that was a monster jam.
And now, on our inside look, we ask the question, who's the best backcourt of all time? It's a burning question that everyone's trying to answer.
The best backcourt of all time.
Probably Gail Goodrich and Jerry West. That was a pretty tough backcourt. You couldn't really play off for either one of them because they could shoot it, and drive to the basket, and they could create. They could make things happen. And then they were man enough and tough enough people to make big shots. You know, some people run away from those situations. If you have to match up against those two, Goodrich and West, you had some problems. They're damn good.
I guess Walt Frazier and Earl Monroe would be the best. I would say Walt Frazier was my favorite player because of his defense. He could steal the ball from anyone, and he had great time, and he'd pick a guy's pocket at half court. Where you got Earl Monroe with all the style, the reverse dribble. He's the guy who brought that into the game. Other guys had it, but no one made it more popular than Earl Monroe. So you have these two guys with these two distinctive styles. Before they played on each other's team, they were known as the best two guards to play. And then you put them on the same team and they win. That tells you something about their character.
The Supersonics have one championship banner hanging in Seattle. And for the 3 seasons that Dennis Johnson and Gus Williams manned the Sonic backcourt, they dominated the game and left opponents with an indelible impression.
I think DJ and Gus in their prime, and they won the toughest that I played against. I definitely think you have to put me and Magic in there. You had two guys that could make plays. I could make plays. I could penetrate and pass. And that's something that you don't find on most backcourt these days. They usually don't have two guys that are capable of making very good plays.
After 2 championships, they parted company, and Magic teamed up with Byron Scott. 3 titles later, they've staken their claim as the top tandem in NBA history.
I would put my number one as a Magic and a Byron Scott, simply because they encompassed everything that was necessary on the basketball floor as far as the backcourt was concerned. Scott with his shooting, driving to the basket, being able to dunk. And Magic as a point guard, which is, in my own view and opinion, the best ever to play the game. So if you had to put the overall backcourt positioning, I would rate them as the best.
In the late 80s, Magic and Byron were at their best. But as we find out in our Magic moments, they weren't quite good enough to stop Golden State's Sleepy Floyd, who put on a show in the 1987 playoffs. But it sure didn't start out that way, as the Lakers raced out to a 14-point lead, and it appeared that they just couldn't be stopped.
I just reached a point and said someone had to take over the game, and I just stepped up and got the job done.
Scoring a record 29 points in the 4th quarter, Sleepy was on his way to a record-setting night.
After I scored about 10 straight, at that point I wasn't looking to pass.
Sleepy Floyd is unstoppable at the moment.
They tried various defensive players against me at that point, but when you're that hot, it doesn't matter how many they have on you or what kind of defensive schemes they have, you're going to get the ball in the hole.
Unbelievable! He has broken the NBA record for most points in a playoff game in a quarter.
When you're in a zone like that, there's no one that can stop you, and it was a very special moment in my career.
And now that we have you on the edge of your seat, it's time for the top 10 plays of the week.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
In our courtside countdown, at number 10, it's sundown for Sacramento.
Oh, and look at the rejection by Barkley. Oh, what a play that was at both ends of the floor.
We move on to Miami, where Golden State's Tim Hardaway burns the heat.
Good as it goes. And it goes. A 3 at the buzzer to tie it up.
It's a tie game in Indiana, but not for long.
4-3. Here is Stockton. Oh, he scores with 1.6 seconds to play. John Stockton.
At number 7, Blue Edwards shows us that he's a buck on the rise.
Going, gone. The Nuggets not getting back.
If you got your head in the clouds, then how about this for a dream sequence? At number 5, the Bullets are in New Jersey looking to break out. I don't think so.
Gugliotta. Oh, with a block. Oh, block. He's not the eraser, but he'll do in this sequence. Count the house.
Now this is a pretty nifty way to seal the victory.
He goes down to Strip, and a marvelous pass from the left baseline behind the back. File receives and...
The Knicks need a cure for their road woes, and Doc Rivers has the remedy.
Shot by Rivers, yes, and it counts. He'll go to the line.
At number 2, a bird's eye view of the Bulls.
Your brother Horace just knocked it right down. Oh, my goodness.
And our edge superior performance belongs to Tim Hardaway, who's at it again. Just watch it.
Hardaway comes baseline. Oh, the foul and connects.
Spin it off the glass. Crossover. Baseline drive. Up in the air. Now watch. Hardaway. He's dynamite.
Cuts hard. Michael was trying to get out of the way to avoid the rule about fouling on somebody's glasses, and then the drive to the basket with the left finish.
Welcome to NBA action. The NBA, nothing but action. You got that right. And with stuff like this, it's hard not to get excited. So get ready as we say hello to the second half of the season. Here comes Russell, shoves it to Hardaway. What time is it?
Ken's got it right up into the eye.
After Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen received their Olympic rings, the Bulls took it to the Bucks.
B.J. Armstrong on the run. Scottie Pippen. Now the Bulls have just stole the ball right out of their hands.
And even with a sprained ankle, MJ can kill you.
7 to go on the clock. B.J. for 3. Yeah. Well, that's what happened. He made him pay.
Thursday, the Bulls traveled to Orlando to face the Magic. And though Jordan was hobbled by a sore ankle, his teammates showed him the way, and the Bulls continued to roll.
Michael sets, Michael fires, and Michael hits. It's not been a lot of fun, folks.
Back home, the crowd awaited a marquee matchup.
Watch this, the 2 leading scorers in the league.
But these area artists took a backseat Saturday as Trent Tucker led Chicago to their 5th straight win.
Trent Tucker hasn't missed tonight. Still perfect. 24 for Trent Tucker.
Hot in the Bulls' trail of the streaking Cleveland Cavaliers. Last week, Mark Price beat the Heat, matching his all-star game performance and tying a team record in the process.
Price another 3. Good! Price with 27, and he has 6 3-pointers.
Cleveland then headed out on the start of a 5-game road trip, loosening up the Lakers with a little inside finesse. Then hitting an incredible 10 of 13 3-pointers.
Another 3-pointer. That's marvelous. That is absolutely marvelous.
After a remarkable shooting demonstration from beyond the 3-point line.
The Cavs finished the week by snapping the Suns' 19-game home winning streak, pulling to within a game and a half of the division-leading Bulls. In the West, the Houston Rockets serve notice that they're not to be overlooked in the competitive Midwest Division, blowing out the Jazz in Utah in convincing fashion.
What a huge victory, maybe the biggest of the season for the Houston Rockets, as they sound a warning, I think, to the Utah Jazz and the San Antonio Spurs. Here we come.
Back at the Summit, Charles Barkley and company were looking to slow down the Rockets' blistering pace. But Houston served up their 2nd consecutive blowout.
The Rockets are off and running.
Running and gunning.
Down to 2 seconds. 1 second left. Maxwell. The Rockets can do no wrong.
Saturday, the Dream welcomed Dikembe Mutombo and the Nuggets to town.
Back to Scotty Brooks. Oh, pass to Herrera.
But the greeting that awaited Denver was anything but polite, and the Rockets won their 6th straight.
Otis. All right, now the Rockets have taken the game to another level.
Finally, George Karl's Seattle Supersonics are back on track. Dana Barros led the charge off the bench against Minnesota.
And he drains another one. Dana Barros guns another one down.
While the high-flying Sean Kemp helped power the Sonics through and around the Sacramento Kings. Seattle headed home for another Pacific Division showdown with Golden State. And once again, it was the Rain Man who provided a stormy climate for Don Nelson and his injury-riddled Warriors.
The Sonics make it 7 in a row, 37-17.
While the Sonics continue to press the division-leading Suns, in this week's news, notes, and quotes, we find that Seattle is fine-tuning their roster for the stretch run. The Sonics acquired versatile forward Sam Perkins from the Lakers, giving Seattle yet another threat in the low post. In return, the Lakers acquired the rights to rookie Doug Christie and former Clipper Benoit Benjamin.
I think if I get some minutes and some time, I'm quite sure my numbers will be there. So I'm not really worried about myself from a basketball standpoint. I think I'm worried about myself more mentally than physically.
Elsewhere, the Pistons traded Orlando Woolridge to the Bucks for guard Alvin Robertson.
Detroit has a great tradition. They know how to win, and they want to get back there and give it another shot. And I just hope that I can get the opportunity to play in a playoff series past the first round.
It's a three-peat. No, it's Ed Neely. It is his 3rd trip to the Bulls.
That's right. The Warriors sent Ed Neely to Chicago in exchange for a conditional 2nd-round pick. And finally, Jazz guard John Stockton became just the 4th player in league history to surpass a rare milestone.
So John Stockton, with that last assist, has reached 8,000 career assists, and before he's through, he'll be number 1 all time.
Coming up next on NBA Action, the player manning the Clippers ship is holding court.
Very prominent people in the NBA say he's the closest thing to Magic Johnson. I definitely agree with that.
And we'll see what's in store in another exciting week of NBA Encore.
Touch this.
Jordan in deep on Elam's most inspirational stories as the captain of the Clippers ship holds court. For 22 years, Danny Manning lived the perfect basketball dream. As the nation's most dominant college player, he would lead Kansas to a national championship and would be handpicked to deliver a struggling Clipper franchise into the light. It was a dream seemingly destined for a fairy tale conclusion until it almost ended with one false step.
I thought it was something like a twist of an ankle. You know, when you twist an ankle, you can run it off. And I got to half court and I realized that there's no running this off. All my life, you know, I set the goal of wanting to become a pro player. And I get there in 26 games into my pro season, I blow my knee out and I'm told I'll never play again at this level. That was hard to take. It made me work harder, but at the time it was pretty difficult.
For the next 11 months, Manning would be forced to work harder off the court than he ever had on it in an effort to rebuild a shattered knee and reclaim a shattered dream.
It's a heartwarming moment for Danny Manning. Believe you me.
He has just been announced. He has finally returned. Throws up a circus try that won't go, and Manning quickly out with it to Grant. Boy, the Clippers looking to run. Manning available. Look for Harper. What a look!
Oh, Manning, what a pass to Harper.
Oh, that's something else.
Knocked away. Steal by Manning. Drexler facing him. He scores.
I think Danny is the guy that everybody looks to initiate everything.
To Higgins, Brown with the block from behind. Look at this feed from Danny Manning to Gary Grant.
I've heard some guys, some very prominent people in the NBA say he's the closest thing to Magic Johnson. I definitely agree with that.
Look how active he is. Oh, what a move. What a move. Oh, I wish I could vote for the All-Star team right now. I'd vote as many times as I could for Danny Manning.
It was an opinion that would be shared by many. So this year, Manning would join a select club in Utah and become an NBA All-Star, proving once and for all that he had finally made it all the way back.
This is his best season, in my opinion, coming back from the very serious ACL ligament surgery that basically ruined the beginning of his career. And at this point, I'd say he would have to be the greatest success story for that surgery.
And now in our Legends, we take a look at a versatile forward from another era who had all the skills. Maurice Stokes, a player whose career was tragically cut short by a paralyzing injury. However, for the precious years that he did grace the hardwood floor, it was to bear witness to pure mastery of the sport.
Maurice, had he been able to continue his career, would have been the dominant player in professional basketball history. If you think about a fella 6'7", playing at about 275, that could dribble the length of the floor, play guard, forward, take it in the pivot, do whatever had to be done on the basketball floor. There aren't too many of those people that have ever played the game.
He was today's player in the 50s. He had everything, and he loved the game. You know, whenever he came to play, he was smiling, he was happy, he was playing the game of his life, and he loved it.
Perhaps what this special person left us was a vision of the future.
Maurice Stokes, in my opinion, was a forerunner of Magic Johnson. I would say if his career wasn't cut short, undoubtedly he'd be a Hall of Famer and also would have been one of the greats in NBA history. He was that good. He really was.
Stokes may have been the NBA's first all-court performer, but he's not the only NBA player to average double figures in rebounds, points, and assists over the course of a season. Can you name this master of the triple-double? The answer when we return, right here on NBA Action.
Breakaway, look out!
special over the course of one season is Oscar Robertson. In 1962 as a Cincinnati Royal, the second-year point guard averaged over 30 points, 12 rebounds, and 11 assists per game during his record-setting year. Some career nights this week in On Fire. Tipping things off, Rick Smits. The 7'4" dunking Dutchman faced Indiana against Charlotte as his torrid play helped him achieve a personal milestone.
41-0 for Rick.
Smits would go on to register 37 points.
And a career high for Rick Smits.
Also sizzling this week was second-year guard LeBradford Smith of the Washington Bullets, who exploded for a career-best 22 points Saturday night as he burned the Orlando Magic with his vast array of moves.
Bradford Smith with a career-high performance, 22 points.
Holding court in the Palace at Auburn Hills was all-star Joe Dumars, who put on a three-point shooting exhibition that buried the first-place Knicks.
Back to Joe, right wing for three. It's through, a triple and a foul.
The Piston guard was clicking on all cylinders as he notched a Detroit record 7 3-pointers en route to 43 points on the night.
For three again, it's through again!
One smoking Sixer is the subject of this week's Rookie Watch, Philadelphia's Clarence Weatherspoon.
Weatherspoon buries it. Only 2 of 7 from the field. Oh, nicely done, Weatherspoon.
Weatherspoon rolls to the hoop. That was a Barkley move.
When Philadelphia traded Charles Barkley in the offseason, they were expecting great things from their number 1 pick, and the Spoon hasn't disappointed anyone.
Weatherspoon has been really a pleasant surprise as a rookie. He's very professional. He's just a really good player, a good guy to have on the team, and he's one of our building blocks for the future.
And when people do bring up the comparison with Barkley, Weatherspoon feels no pressure.
I really didn't let the comparison get to me. I knew I had to come out and be myself, and I had to try to, to be the next Barkley or anything like that, because he's a perennial all-star in this league. If I had did that, I would have let the pressure get to me, but I didn't. I just concentrated on being myself.
And thus far in his rookie year, Weatherspoon has flourished in Philadelphia, showing everyone that he's soon to be a superstar in the NBA.
Strong rebound. Weatherspoon goes up and jams.
Man, that is a guy going after the ball that wanted it badly and was not going to be denied.
And neither will this group of guys as NBA Encore gets in your face.
Pippen drives and dunks.
Ooh, what a running rampage by Sir Charles.
By Barkley. Here comes Sir Charles. Whammo.
Hey, will you make way for the Pac-Man?
Here's Pac once again. Robert Pac just blowing past the Mavericks defense.
Ooh, and the Lakers got a rare treat from Sedale.
Ahead to Treat. Treat the distance. Hilo doesn't believe it. Look at the Laker bench.
I know, folks, it's tough to beat a standing O, but we're going to try with a barrage of blocks. How about starting it off with Randy Brown?
And Randy Brown with the sensational defense. Knight going away from the Barley pick to Barkley. He's rejected by Robinson. What if he's Williams? Rejected O'Neal.
Ahead to Dana Barrel. 4-on-1. To McMillan. To McLean. Smith cuts over the top. Hey, that guy's got some wheels.
Ooh, it's time for some tasty teamwork. We begin with the Lakers' Dwayne Cooper, who shows Sacramento that he's the king of the court.
Nice underneath a great play to A.C. Green.
Hey, great steal, rookie John Barry. So now what you going to do for an encore?
Barry with the steal. Oh, what a feed for Lowhouse.
Impressive. Well, come to think of it, so is this tasty dish.
Oh, what a pass to Green underneath.
When we finally finish it up with a few fellas who are just a little confused. No, not that basket.
The tap in, it looked like off the hands of Alonzo Mourning. Oh! What a deflection off of Ty Corbin.
Coming up next, we'll show you the best the week has to offer in our courtside countdown. And in our inside look, we'll feature some of NBA history's greatest teams.
You are watching what greatness is all about.
Now we take an inside look at some of the greatest teams in NBA history. The 1986 Boston Celtics were a talented group of veterans, solidly bonded together, and always led by Larry Bird.
He kind of sets the tone, and a lot of times sets the mood of the team with his player, his attitude. It's similar to, like, you know, a flock of geese. You know, if you have one leader, the rest of the geese kind of follow in, and Larry Bird's really our leader.
With a remarkable 40-1 record under the championship banners of Boston Garden, and with the league's best sixth man in Bill Walton, the '86 Celtics coasted to the title.
They swing it around to Walton on the right side, off the glass, and gone! Bill Walton makes it a 28-point lead!
I've always felt that, and still feel that that's the best team I've ever seen in this league. I'm sure Magic's got a team he liked to throw up against him.
In 1987, the Lakers began a 2-year period of dominance, which really started with Magic Johnson taking on more offensive responsibility.
You know, they finally turned the team over to me and let me do my thing, which was great.
Now with the team in his capable hands, Johnson dethroned Larry Bird's Celtics. But winning the finals that year was not enough for the hungry Lakers.
I feel grateful to be alive and living in Los Angeles, and I'm guaranteeing everybody here, next year we're going to win it again.
The final obstacle for L.A. in 1988 were the young but tough Detroit Pistons. But the Magic Man and his supporting cast were determined to make history.
Back to back! Yeah! Yeah! And you know that.
The greatest team ever in the NBA was the 1971-72 Laker team, in which I was a bench warmer on. After winning 69 games, we won 33 consecutive games. I don't think there'll ever be a team like that one again, or a season like that one again.
Led by the awesome Wilt Chamberlain, this aging yet still dynamic team knew what it took to win.
We did everything the way the coach wanted, and everything worked for us. And it got to be almost funny because we knew no one could beat us. I mean, we felt invincible.
For that Laker team to do what they did, I still think that they did more in the game of basketball than the other team for the talent that they had.
In his earlier days in 1967, Wilt would lead a Philadelphia 76ers team loaded with talent. Giving up some of his own individual scoring, Chamberlain would look to his teammates more than ever. And as another showdown neared with the team of the decade, the Boston Celtics, a newfound confidence was evident.
Everyone knew this is it. You know, there's no chance we're gonna beat the Celtics.
Philadelphia defeated Boston in 5 games for the Eastern Division title and denied the Celtics a 9th straight championship. The finals were then a mere formality as the Sixers eliminated the Warriors, staking their claim as one of the greatest teams in NBA history. But 6 years later, as we find out in our magic moments, these same 76ers would provide us with the other side of the spectrum. The 1973 season was one which Philadelphia would love to forget, as the Sixers finished with the worst record in NBA history.
It's like playing on the Philadelphia 76er team in the middle 70s, when our record was, if you can believe this, 9 wins, 73 losses.
It was that season of many struggles that has left the Sixers in a class by themselves for the last 20 years.
I've had many newspaper people call me and want information about that year because it's so unusual.
But currently, the 4-48 Dallas Mavericks are threatening to surpass this rather dubious distinction.
You have to go back to the 1972-73 Philadelphia 76ers, who finished 9-73, worst record in the history of the NBA. Dallas is right on target.
And now that we have you on the edge of your seat, we bring you the top 10 plays of the week.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
In our courtside countdown. At number 10, Orlando's in need of a miracle. And poof, just like magic, they get it.
They get it into Anderson. Three-pointer. Good! Holy mackerel!
We move on to the Meadowlands to check out the Blazers. And you can bet that you won't catch Portland sitting down on the job.
Oh, that was just an incredible play. I don't know how they pulled it off.
We're in Orlando for number 8, where rest assured, MJ never takes Horace for granted.
Oh, what a pass from Jordan to Grant. What a pass. Oh.
Any requests? Like, do you need a buzzer beater? Well, just ask, and you shall receive.
1 second remaining. Midcourt. Askew will get a shot off. Good if it goes. He banked it up and in. He banked it up and in. 3-point range. Vincent Askew.
Nothing could be finer than our pick for 6, starring slam dunk champ Harold Miner.
Oh, my. Slam dunk king. That guy have a cape or what?
After his stellar shooting performance, Chicago's real bullish on Trent Tucker.
Somebody's going to have to bail him out. Tucker gets it away. Oh, for 3. A dagger, his 5th free. Oh, man.
Blasting off in Houston at number 4 is the Rockets' Carl Herrera. It's T-minus, baby! You know, sometimes you just gotta wonder where the Warriors come up with plays like this.
Down the way, open Hardaway, the trailer is held!
We'll throw you for a loop at number 2 with this unreal alley-oop.
He caught it, drilled it. Oh, my goodness.
And for our number 1 play, the Warriors are at it again, as Tim Hardaway shows us his golden touch.
Hardaway, oh, what a shot! It goes! What an amazing shot by Tim Hardaway!
I'm Jim Fagan for NBA Action. See you next week. Let's look again at the dynamic Danny Manning.
Фаворит екипата на Индијана, кој што играше со Райт Стейт, 97-50 професионална кошарка, Лейкерс и Бостон 119-129, Чикаго, Вашингтон 104-99. Само да напоменам за првиот надпревар што го кажавме Лейкерс и Бостон, една карактеристична информација. Лейкерси за една четвртина примиле 49 коша. Тоа е последната четвртина каде што ја изгубија. Шутот му беше 11-6 за двојки и 6-5-1. Имаше инаку 9 скока. Чикаго, Вашингтон, Джордан 25-1. Тоа беше све за овој пат во тајмаут. Еве ги пропуштивме оние каунтдаун одбројување, тоа е поради тоа што не успеавме преку траса да добиеме секако што треба во ред. А наредната недела ќе го видите и тоа одбројување, најдобрите 10 моменти од американската професионална кошарка. Јас ви благодарам за учеството во нашата емисија и останува да се видиме наредниот пат, а се разбира сега продолжуваме понатаму со програмата.
Филе, неговиот тајмаут